What's up? It's AK Babyface. Subscribe to supporting icons for the latest boxing news.
I walk this earth like a god. Charles Martin. He has a fight coming up against Adam Kownacki on September the 8th on the Sean Porter vs Danny Garcia WBC welterweight world title event in Brooklyn, New York. And he was interviewed briefly by Sky Sports and he went into quite a lot of things, but there were some bits in here where I was quite interested in, where he spoke about his fight with Anthony Joshua and some of the changes that he's done since that fight. A lot of things happened, maybe in camp, all that kind of thing, which in his mind contributed to what happened in the ring against Anthony Joshua, where Charles Martin lost his IBF World Heavyweight title. So Anthony Joshua became a World Heavyweight champion for the first time. And this is what Charles Martin had to say about that Anthony Joshua fight. That wasn't a fight. I don't consider that a fight, man. He never saw me. That was no Charles Martin. People don't know. That's why a lot of people that were with me aren't around me now. Dumb decisions cost people their jobs. The experience was cool. It didn't go how I wanted because of the things that happened during the process. It wasn't perfect for sure. I'm smarter now. I don't do the things I used to do. I'm better at decision making. I'm wiser. I'm older. That's the key. And for sure, I would love to go back to the UK. There's good people in the UK, absolutely. And I have no regrets. A loss can certainly make you stronger. I believe so. That's true. You've got to face things and grow from them. I had to find a new team, you know what I mean? The people I was with weren't all for the team, so I switched people and now got a new stable. Now the team has a good chemistry. We click, we vibe. I'll work my way back up. It ain't no thing, but a guarantee. That's Charles Martin's statement. As I said, he did go into some other bits as well, about various other things like his hip-hop rap career, if you can call it that, after the Anthony Joshua defeat, where there were some other things as well, where allegedly he was putting some gear up his nose, some narcotics, shall we say. But that wasn't mentioned in this article, but he did say about his rap career, it was purely just a hobby, and it's not something that he's taking serious, and he can't do that plus boxing, so he's concentrating on boxing, but may revisit that at some point. But now he's got rid of his whole team virtually, and he's got new trainers in Henry Tillman and Jeff Mayweather as well, and he's up in Big Bear, so he has been sparring the likes of Joe Joyce, who of course is teamed up with Abel Sanchez, who is of course Gennady Golovkin and Murat Gassiev's trainer as well. So he's been doing like a fair bit of sparring, training, all that kind of thing in preparation for his fight with Adam Kownacki on September the 8th, as I said, on the Porter Garcia undercard. Now, I can kind of understand where he's coming from. Sometimes a defeat makes you reflect and see some of the things that maybe you probably weren't seeing before, where things weren't going well in training or whatever it may be. But to be honest, I mean, he's saying that mistakes were made. I'm not too sure exactly what he could mean, because it was only a 2-rounder, well, 1.5 rounds, where the first fight was, the first round was like a feeling out process for Joshua, but he certainly won it. And I don't even recall Charles Martin even landing a punch on Joshua, to be honest. Second round, Anthony Joshua counters him and drops Charles Martin to the floor. He nods his head, he smiles, he gets back up. A few seconds later, he gets caught again. He goes down, he sits on his backside, looking up, smiling at the referee. The referee's counting quite clearly, and at the count of 9, he decides to try and stand up on his feet and then complains that the referee didn't give him enough time. So I'm not too sure how any of that can reflect onto a team. But of course, I don't know. Maybe there's some things in the background leading up to that. Maybe it was decisions of him, maybe the training, maybe the altitude, maybe him going to the UK, maybe too late or too early, or he peaked too quick, whatever it may be. There's plenty of things that could contribute to all this, of course. But it was a demolition job for Anthony Joshua, and arguably one of the most easiest world heavyweight title wins in the history of heavyweight title wins, right? It was a real easy one. So dumb decisions has cost people their jobs, and that's fine. Fighters change and switch trainers and their team around all the time, and ultimately what usually happens is they have, like a lot of people, they have like a bit of an entourage around with them, and as soon as a loss happens, they seem to disappear off into the background and don't really want to know. And maybe this is the case with Charles Martin, and he looked at that and thought, hang on a minute, where are you all? So now he's got rid of all them, and now he's with Jeff Mayweather and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, that's fine. And for him to say that people didn't see him, well, we saw him. I mean, he gave one of the best speeches on Behind the Gloves, or The Gloves Are Off even, with Johnny Nelson and Anthony Joshua, where I walked this earth like a god. And it was one of the best liners that I think I've heard in boxing. And his ring entrance as well was absolutely phenomenal. You know, he was dressed as a Prince of England, Prince Charles Martin. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, he looked the part, he acted the part, he spoke the part, in right the way down to his ring entrance. He really did. And he was a bit of an unknown commodity at the time. Not many people knew him. Of course, he won that title by beating Glasgow in the fight beforehand, where Glasgow, he twisted his ankle or his knee or something happened, and Charles Martin was awarded the victory. And the reason that IBF world title belt was on the line was because Tyson Fury, he won the unified titles, but he refused to fight Glasgow in a voluntary defense or mandatory defense. So he ended up getting stripped because he agreed to have a rematch with Vladimir Klitschko, which ultimately never came off anyway. But which kind of still baffles me in some ways as to why Tyson Fury agreed to have a rematch with Vladimir Klitschko when he was mandatory for Vladimir Klitschko. I believe he's a WBO. So he had no reason to give Vladimir Klitschko a rematch. So I don't quite know about all that. But anyway, that's how Charles Martin won the belt. Then his first defense was against Anthony Joshua, where he would call Anthony Joshua a hype job. And I don't believe the hype is real. And we'll find out on the night. And we did, where he walked through Charles Martin. Easy work. So this is all a building process now. And for him to face Adam Kownacki is a real test of the mettle. Is he back? Who knows? Adam Kownacki is no joke. He really isn't. He is a phenomenal fighter for a big guy as well. And his punch output is on par with Jarrell Miller. Maybe because him and Jarrell Miller, they spend a lot of time together. They spar all the time. They're best friends. They go out eating. Their families sit down together, all that kind of thing. So maybe that's why Adam Kownacki has that punch output along with Jarrell Miller as well, because their styles are very, very similar. So this is a real test of the mettle. Let's see what kind of salt Charles Martin has, because Adam Kownacki is going to put it on him. Now, Charles Martin, as I said, when he fought Anthony Joshua, not many people knew who he was. They only knew that he was a world champion, but could anybody tell you what fight he had before Glasgow or what fights he's had? Not really. He was a bit of an unknown commodity, which is why a lot of people, including myself at the time, thought it was a risky move for Anthony Joshua to take on this guy, because not only is he unknown, but we knew that he was quite powerful. He had a very good knockout percentage, and he was a southpaw as well. And I don't believe that Joshua had faced a southpaw up to that point. He may well have, but I really don't recall it. So it was definitely a risky move, a ballsy move, and Charles Martin earned a lot of money out of that fight. It was rumoured to be around about $5 million, where Anthony Joshua, he wouldn't even have got $1 million at that point for that world title fight. But since then was a massive turning point in Anthony Joshua's career. It's already a massive turning point for Joshua, the fight before against Dillian Whyte, but by going straight into Charles Martin and winning a world title, it's like the likes of Lennox Lewis and many others saying that even if he was to beat Charles Martin, that's one thing, but to become champion, you've got a target on your back. How are you going to cope with it after then? Because all the big dogs are going to come after you. And so far, Joshua has lived up to the test. So far. And who knows where this road will end or lead to. Who knows? But right now, Charles Martin, I said he's got Adam Kownacki coming up, which is a very, very good fight. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to that fight. I really am. Charles Martin was supposed to be on the Wilder-Ortiz undercard, and Charles Martin was a stand-in for Luis Ortiz had that fight not taken place as well. So it would have been interesting. And a lot of people who maybe criticise the fact that Joshua became a world champion by beating this guy, again, you have to remember he's part of the PBC. He's part of Al Heyman. So is Deontay Wilder. So why didn't Wilder and Charles Martin unify? A lot of people say because Wilder was nervous about it. He was scared, is what it was. But Anthony Joshua, he said, okay, let's do it. And Charles Martin is much better than what he showed in that fight with Joshua. No doubt about it. But we're really going to see how much does he have left in the tank. How much ambition does he have? How much heart does he have when he takes on somebody like Adam Kownacki, who is going to keep on coming forward and throwing bombs from the opening bell until whenever it ends. But anyway, that's Charles Martin's statement. You drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe, catch you all on the next video.